Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Space Battle Lunchtime card game. This is designed by Daniela Solis. The artwork is by Natalie Rice, who also does the graphic novel. And it is published by Oni Games and Renegade Game Studios. Do you see a similarity?
That's right.
All right, so in this game, you're in a cooking show, a space cooking show, and you are trying to compete to come up with the best ingredients you can. Now, sometimes you have to sacrifice just to get things done, but that is okay because you can still come out number one. Let us show you what that looks like.
All right, here is our setup for Space Battle Lunchtime, the card game. Each game, we're going to have 3 judges that are going to be judging our meals. We got 1, 2, and 3. Those are kind of the starting judges. There are some level 2 judges that you can incorporate into the game once you're a little bit more familiar with them. Also, at any given time, we're going to have 4 of these different orders that we're trying to make, 4 different dishes. Whenever one gets taken, we're going to replace it from the dish deck. We have our larder, which is where we're going to be getting the majority of our different ingredients. And whenever we use something from the larder, we replace it from the flavor deck. Also, we can take from the flavor deck as well, as I'll show you here in a moment. There are 5 different kinds of ingredients in this game. There is savory, sweet, sour, bitter, and spicy. And we start off with these cards that have the blue corner. That's showing they're a starting card. Everything's going to be shuffled up and dealt 2 of those. And then the rest of them are going to get incorporated back into that dish deck so they can be used again. We also have 5 chefs that we can be. Each chef is good at a certain kind of flavor. So, for instance, Chef Melonhead is really good at savory dishes, whereas Chef Neptunia is good at the bitter dishes. All right, so we're going to shuffle those up, deal them out to every player. Let's say we get Chef Jacques. That means we get a benefit whenever we use a spicy dish. Each player is also going to get a little spatula token, which we'll set up to the side for now. Eventually, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to use our chef's ability in order to flip this over to its bonus side and then activate one of the benefits of the chef's. For now, we'll leave it on the spatula side. But again, if we ever use a spicy dish, we'll be able to activate that for some benefits. On your turn, you have 3 choices. The first thing you can do is you can just steal a flavor card. So, for instance, you can either just take one of these from out here like this, and that will be your turn, and replace it. Or you can take one from the top of the deck. That would also be considered stealing. Another option on your turn is that you can buy ingredients. All right, so it says 2 ingredients on it, so we can buy 2 ingredients. We would discard this, and we'd be able to take 2 of these cards into our hand. And like always, replenish. The last thing we can do on our turn is we can serve up a dish, one of the 4 that are faced out there. All right, so for instance, over here we have the Telempathetic Twist. That takes 3 of the sour ingredients as well as 1 of the sweet ingredients, those pinks there. We can, if we are able to get rid of the exact equal number of ingredients and the flavors, we are going to be able to take this recipe, and it has 3 sides to it. We've got our gold, we have silver, and we have bronze. If it was the exact right amount of ingredients and flavors, we're going to get on the gold side. However, let's say we didn't have the exact cards. Maybe we had 3 of the sours and 2 of the sweets, or something like that. We had the right ingredients, but the wrong quantities for some reason. Well, then we would be able to on the silver side. Now let's just say we had the complete wrong ingredients entirely, but we had the correct quantities. Well, then we would get it on the bronze side, and we'd still get some points out of it. But in this case, we had the exact right stuff, so we're going to put it onto our card so that only the gold side is showing. Now, if we're able to do something that only the gold side is showing, each one of these judges is presiding over 2 of the dishes. So, for instance, we have here the Judge Critic Bot is in charge of this dish and this dish over here. We were able to activate that ability of that judge when we take that dish. Over here, we have the Judge Gatorax. He would be able to basically give you that special ability if you fulfilled either one of those 2 dishes. In this case, the ability is not really doing us a whole lot of good. It says upgrade 1 of your dishes in the score pile. So let's say we had maybe something that was in the bronze level underneath our scorecard. We would be able to turn it sideways so that it was on the silver side if we activated that ability when it was more timely. All right, so we're going to be able to refill that row. And now this one has a spicy ingredient. Remember, if we are ever able to fulfill a spicy ingredient card by using spicy ingredients with our character, Chef Jacques, well, then we get to flip over our spatula. When we flip over the spatula, we now have banked a special action. Any one of the judges that are out there, we can use their special ability by activating that and flipping it back over. And you can use that as any part of your turn in addition to your normal action. So that's the flow of the game. You're basically just grabbing some ingredients, you're trying to fulfill those orders. The more accurate you are, the more points you're going to get, and the more special abilities you'll be able to activate as well. The game is going to end once one player has 21 points. At that point, everyone's going to finish so they have the exact same number of turns, and whoever has the most points wins the game. I felt like this game was very, very flexible in terms of what you could do on your turn. You could always you had the opportunity to fulfill one of the recipes. Now, it wasn't always going to be perfect, right? You didn't have the exact right ingredients or the exact right quantities, but you could still, fulfill it at that bronze or that silver level. And every once in a while, you go for the gold as well, right? But I love how it's so flexible. You could always have the opportunity to score some kind of points, and then maybe even later have an opportunity to upgrade them possibly to the next level as well to get even more points. So I loved it. It was flexible. You were never kind of caught in a bind.
Yeah, and I like that all the players had that spatula, so they had an ingredient that really worked for them. Whenever they used that ingredient, they were just mwah. But you were able to use this spatula token, so whenever you were able to fulfill that way and you got that, I liked that you still had access to the judge's abilities, even if for some reason you just could not fulfill a gold. You still had access to those special abilities, so I really liked that.
This was a card game, and as such, it was very, very simple to set up. On top of that, it was simple to learn. Everything was very intuitive, right? You had the symbology, which is very, very clear, and it was very easy to learn and easy to jump right into it. There was very, very little, that long teach, that can kind of make people get goofy. This didn't have that. It was you're playing basically right away within 30 seconds, which was great.
Yeah, and I loved the connection to the graphic novel. I mean, I felt like this was the perfect medium to make this graphic novel into a game. It's an order fulfillment game. How much sense does that make when you're making food? Right? So I just liked how easily the components of the game were able to highlight what was happening in the novel and just to see the different foods and stuff that were already there. But I just thought that they seemed those two elements together perfectly. This was the perfect medium, I believe, to create this game for.
Which is great because, this is not my style of game typically, right? I like games that are a little bit on the heavier side, a little bit more strategy involved. This was very light, very light, we're talking. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It was simple, and it was a good time. It was a good opener for the evening. So you don't have to worry about all the heavy strategy and brain burning, all that kind of stuff. It was very, very light. So if you are a fan of the graphic novel, this would be a fantastic way to jump in on something that gives you a little bit more background or immersive into that theme, which is really fun. Also, if you like simple card games, the order fulfillment, this is a really, really smooth one. If you are someone who likes the heavier stuff, this might be for you, but at the same time, maybe give it a check out. Good opener or the closer to the evening.
Yeah, this game was cute and fun. I mean, that's just the core of it. It was a cute, fun card game. It was easy to play, and it worked really well, like I said, with the source material. So this was a fun one, and I enjoyed it. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1, and on TikTok, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.